Hello and welcome to Pixel Sift Plays. My name is Gianni and tonight I'm joined by James and Ben Paddock. They're part of the team from Big Brik Games and we're going to be playing their game that's been built inside the Doom engine, the ZDoom engine to be specific. It's called The Adventures of Square. It's got a very cool cartoony art style. So Ben, you're going to run us through the first bit, aren't you?
Yep, that's right. I will be your gameplay monkey today, playing on controller, which I would like to say I'm not familiar with. I had to map my own controls, and we're in for a fun time, I think.
So we've inverted every single option that we possibly can, and we're going to give it a go. So you've got some fans on the chat already. I can see.
Yeah. Shout out to Kuroshiki, Slacks, Medi, and Term.
All right, shall we jump in? Is it working?
Okay, yep.
All right, good.
Good.
All right, so just going to murder some blue circles.
It's all right. We're just putting them to sleep. This is a non-violent game.
Extremely non-violent, as you can see.
Sorry, we'll scoop them up later.
It should be just like dishing out bits of cake or something like that.
Basically,
Here's some pie and lemonade.
Just send them on their way.
But I'm not thirsty.
All right, so tell me a little bit about why you guys wanted to make a game and why did you decide to make it inside the Doom engine?
Okay, well, I think it all started with me, actually. I think somewhere around like circa 2000 or something. I loaded up MS Paint on my computer when I was very little, and I made something called Squaw Goes Wrong. It's this silly little drawing about this purple square who had like some paint thrown on him, and because it was the wrong color, it was like mutating him or turning him evil or something, and he was running around,
chestnut,
freaking out. And then my brother decided, I'm going to make a game about this, and he did. Which you might explain in more detail.
There's a little bit more to it than that, though. Ben and I are both creative types, so we would be constantly working on things like little stories or cartoons of our own. And essentially, Square started out as this little cartoon character in this doodle that Ben drew, and progressed into this short animated series that we actually created in Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yeah, so and saying it was animated is stretching it somewhat, quite a lot.
So, scene transitions, movements from the left.
Exactly,
fade up from black.
I mean, that
every
effectively
slide.
is just Flash, right? That's what Flash used to be like.
Basically,
pretty much, just like a step down from that a little bit.
So from there we kind of created I think Ben was the guy behind that mostly.
I just have stupid ideas like this.
A few little episodes featuring our titular Square character. But at some point after that, I decided, well, a square is a pretty simple thing to draw, right? To put in a game, for example.
Yep.
I don't have any particularly artistic skills of my own, but I really want to make my own kind of thing. And I really want to use the Doom engine to do that, because I've been playing Doom since it came out, basically. I was 2 at the time, but that didn't stop me. So, essentially,
when did Doom come out? What was the year that actually
1993.
Good year.
Yeah, he was born in born 6 days before it came out.
Like about a week apart from the game release. Before or after, I never remember, but yeah. And Jimmy,
it's lost to the annals of time now. No one can tell. No way to possibly find out.
Well, yeah. And so Jimmy, you kind of said you have like no artistic skills, but I think considering you're the art director for this game, I think you maybe undersell your talent somewhat.
I have been told that many times. I undersell myself. A lot of the art assets that you see here are my own.
Yeah.
They have had a few like checks and quality rehashes though. We've got a really great team behind this game now. So, from humble beginnings back in like the mid-2000s, where it was just me working on this game, and it never really particularly went anywhere, until I decided in about 2012 to kind of pick it up again and start running with it, using there's the goonades that work there.
Yeah.
So around that time I decided to pick the project back up and see what I could possibly do with it, and I ended up releasing a 3-level demo to the Doom playing community. I released it to both doomworld.com and ZDoom.org. Those are both great community hubs, lots of thriving talent there, some really great stuff on offer there. So after that demo was released, I had a few people show up and express interest in joining me in working on the game.
Yeah.
And to begin with, it was 3 mappers from Doom World. I believe it was Matt Tropiano, Alfonso, my buddy in Melbourne, and Pavera, who's a guy who I think he lives in Connecticut now. So already this is quite a large project, large project in terms of just where people come from. So that's the beauty of the internet, I think, and community forums. So you just get so many people from so many different walks of life and from different countries all working together on the same package. So my buddy Matt, who lives in New Jersey, he sort of became the project manager after a while.
Yep.
He's been an absolute treasure on this entire enterprise.
He keeps the drones in order.
Well, what I think is really interesting is you have got this sort of community that's sort of built out from this, and there is this sort of real passionate fan base. And we see this with a lot of these modding communities as well. You have these people who, work extremely hard to make creative things, and they really transform the way that, the legacy of the game. We did have a question from Twitch. Limbot has asked if the cliffs are made out of brains.
They are not. Can we do a check on that, Ben? Do you think the cliffs are made of brains?
They look like rock to me.
Speaking of the fan base as well, we've got a little bit more serious question, I feel. Nothing against you, Limbot. But from Combined Keegan, says, hey Jimmy, what's your favourite weapon in the Adventures of Square?
Well, it's got to be the paint gun cannon, which you get in level 3. If we get up to that, you'll see that in action. That's by far and away my favourite weapon. There's a lot of really cool weapons in this.
All extremely, non-violent, no...
Oh, definitely, yeah.
On that note, to die, unfortunately. Go on,
let's
get
see
the burger.
Cactus.
Shoot.
All right.
I guess
so,
you didn't say.
I've got a really serious question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How come in a world of all shapes there are still cows, and they look like normal cows?
That's a mystery that will be revealed later in the game.
Yeah.
All right. Good answer.
The lore runs deeper than we can really go into in the short span of time, unfortunately.
To answer Keegan's question, good question. I think my favourite weapon that I definitely have personal attachment to is the shot bow. You saw me using it in the latter section of that game before I very skillfully and through no fault of my own got splattered. Because I think I helped Jimmy design it, and everyone just gets an instant dopamine rush as soon as they pick up the shot bow, and I'm glad that I'm a part of that I kind of helped him make a good weapon. I just love the kind of design, and I love how people responded to it.
Yeah.
So how much can you carry across from the actual Doom engine? Is it just can you bring the actual weapons themselves across, or?
Oh, absolutely. Everything that functions in the game, all the animations and the core code behind the weapons and the enemies, all of that is usable and inheritable when you actually want to create assets for your own Doom engine game.
Yeah, really, it's like an infinitely moddable and an infinitely modular engine, which I think is so amazing about it.
Yeah, and one of the things that really makes it a good engine for game development is how easy it can be to use. It's probably not as out of the box, as it were, as something like Unreal or Unity, but it certainly took me a good while to get used to the scripting languages and stuff like that. But once you've picked that up, it's so simple to just instantly code anything you want. Me and Ben attended the Global Game Jam in Perth just
last weekend.
Last weekend, basically, and we made our own game in about 36 hours. Using the Doom engine again. So, really, anybody can pick this thing up and start using the community's tools, the guidelines and tutorials online, the various different editors for all sorts of platforms. It's so, it's
basically,
really
we wanted to show off. But no, really, what we wanted to do was kind of use what we were familiar with, and it just kind of so happened that we made quite an impression by using something that wasn't Unity, and I think, that was good.
How did you discover that community there? I know you said you were fans, obviously, of the game, and it's come out and you've been playing it for a long time, but what kind of prompted you to go look for this community, and how did you find it?
Good question. I think it goes back to about 2006 when I joined up with the Doom community, or one of the multiplayer forums actually. It was for a now defunct port called Skulltag, which has since evolved into the more versatile and powerful Zandronum source port. So that was my beginnings with the community. I started out in the multiplayer kind of section, just looking for projects to join, ways I could be helpful and contribute to the community. And I started making small like deathmatch maps, that kind of stuff. Small multiplayer maps. I eventually would do like capture the flag stuff, like and single player stuff of my own. Yeah, and I've released a fair few maps of my own and projects of my own that I'm still working on, as a matter of fact, because I never finish anything. Yeah, so it's when it comes to the community, there's a lot of helpful people there who are willing to kind of take you on board with like newbie projects, like on Doom World, for example. There's the Nova projects, which allow newbie mappers to come on board and try and do something for a large-scale community project. I've started doing a similar thing myself in the Joy of Mapping series, which is slightly inspired by Bob Ross's Joy of Painting, if you know. It started out as me going on stream and essentially just talking people that I'd never seen before in the community. So complete newbies. Not to decry their talents or anything, but yeah, complete newcomers to the scene, and just talk them through the process of making their first map, basically. And that took about 2 hours each time, and we ended up with a fair old few submissions to each one. It kind of grew quite exponentially, as a matter of fact.
How long does it, now that you're kind of at this stage, how long does it take you to make like a basic map for, say, for example, one of these levels?
He does it very fast.
Oh yeah, it's very possible to make a map in about an hour or two.
Okay.
Can be done.
In the Doom engine, especially if you like don't want to include a load of custom stuff. You can take the resources from the original Doom, so all the textures, all the sprites and stuff, the decorations, just slam them together, and you can have like a map in about an hour, basically. It's a very cool thing to pick up. It's a lot of the editors out there make it really, really easy to just pick it up and run with it.
We do have some more questions coming from the Twitch stream. We've got one more coming from Combined Keegan before I jump into a couple more.
Hi, Keegan.
It says, speaking of non-violent, what inspired splatter deaths?
Right, I want to talk about this. Like when I first picked up the shotbow, you can see how a lot of Square's arsenal just kind of makes a mess of everyone, which is brilliant, I think. And admittedly did raise some eyebrows of like concerned parents with our testing. With that said, Square has definitely seen some appeal with all age groups, and these glorious like paint splatter physics, the whole reason they exist is because Jimmy didn't want to do death animations for every single enemy. That's why every enemy explodes. But it works, and we like it, so that's...
Spriting these things when you don't have like a really quick way to do it as a beginner artist is hellish, and I couldn't possibly picture in my mind's eye how to actually create death animations for all the enemies. Do they just flump over, and just become 2D splats on the ground, or what? I couldn't picture it. So what I did before, before I released the demo of this, I had to obviously put that in the game somehow, because the enemies had to die somehow. So what I just did was created a load of tiny little sprites, like the little giblets that you're seeing there, and coded my own little jibbing system, and that stayed forever, basically. As
perfect.
As just the regular way the enemies die.
It is flawless.
Yeah. So
it is without peer.
And so we've got another question on just on that non-violent topic from Terminus Est 13. Terminus.
Hi, Terminus.
Terminus Est. If the idea is to be non-violent and to be for kids, why does Square smoke and drink?
That's a good question.
See, yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, Jimmy.
The cigar was my idea originally.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever smoked in your old cartoons.
No.
So.
Think of Square as kind of an anti-hero. Kind of do as he says, but not as he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes if you look closer, you see that Square doesn't always solve everything the non-violent way. Just a few times.
It's just blown apart.
Sometimes your heroes can be deeply flawed individuals.
Speaking of smoking, I've got some guest art here from Slacksaw.
From our
The first
from our
one.
art
So
guy.
they've sent me a couple, but this is the first one I've actually got.
So you have to describe it to us because obviously
Yeah.
we can't see it.
It's
But everyone on stream should be able to see it.
It's a square smoking, and it's saying, it just says, "Woo! I can't believe he's using a controller."
This is very hard for me, actually. I don't have
Looking
aim
pretty
assist,
surprised.
and I can't save. So if I could
This is
drop,
like hard mode.
yeah, I know I could say it's a challenge run, but could I like challenge you folks? Just could I trouble you for just like, can I turn on aim assist?
Go for it.
Okay,
Medicris actually suggested it.
I know, I saw that. Like, very kind soul as he was, he saw me struggling. That's
Yeah.
why level 1 took me. Sorry, guys, no skill, Ben, like playing right
Talk
here. You know,
amongst yourselves as we
No.
work our way through the options.
We
here.
do have
this won't take but a minute.
We do have another piece of art coming up for the viewers as well.
Nice.
We'll wait for the text explanation
right,
for you
okay.
streamers.
Back to your regularly scheduled non-violence.
Shape shooting.
That seems extremely normal and not explosive at all.
Terminus Est13 has an easy solution. Have a cutscene where Square pulls it out, and it's not a cigar; it's a lollipop with a very thick shaft. I don't know about the word use of shaft
Phrasing
there.
there, Turbo.
It's got a
Phrasing,
stick,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything else in this world is sweet, and they provide Square with instant health benefits. So yeah,
Reminds me of those corner shop, the fads. Do you
Yeah,
remember
fads.
that? Yeah.
What's also quite funny about that, on the Twitch stream, the auto mod held that up for profanity. I think shaft is unacceptable to the Twitch.
Johnny, you gotta fix that.
You can click. You can click to approve it.
Oh, I can prove it.
Yeah.
Just everything's an innuendo these days. You know, there's innocence is
There we
dead now. You know.
Who would have thought people would use the word shaft inappropriately?
PC gone mad.
I know.
The death of innocence.
PC gaming culture.
Hey. Speaking of puns, we lean very hard into the shape puns in this this game. Just about every one-liner that Square has, and you are hearing my voice there. With pitch shifted up, actually. I can't actually. That's not in my natural range.
Really?
I'm glad you mentioned puns because the stream chat is full of them so
right,
far.
yep. Okay, that's good, that's good.
Oh, Keegan says I'm Iron Manning this. I consider this like medium core, where like no saving, where you. Iron Manning means like, you know, you get one death, and if you die once, you just have to turn off the game.
Yeah.
Then format your computer and start again.
You go outside and
Become
go
a-
for a long walk, look out against the lake, and think about who you are as a
Become a
person.
hermit, yeah. There's actually an Iron Man league that runs on doomworld.com, which is really cool. And I've been meaning to get back into that, but my last few attempts have been just so embarrassing.
I've forgotten what the fire key is. Hang
Use
on,
your
there it
grenades.
is. Oh yeah,
That's the idea.
this
in
is the
room.
first big fight. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Turns out.
So where was the last save?
Right at the
The
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah, I don't have.
Should we do a bit of save scumming? Should we just like pause and save it every 15 seconds?
Mitch is going to have to just be up on his feet the whole time if we do that.
That's all right. Mitch is pretty lazy, so he needs the exercise.
Mitch's main menu guy now.
So the characters themselves, are they actually 3D objects? Or are they just flat objects that have different...
They're flat sprites.
Yeah.
So I had to create rotations for pretty much all the enemies, at least at first. What you're seeing with these yellow enemies here, the O-Volts, they've actually had a rehaul, a visual overhaul, thanks to our wonderful sprite guy, Captain J, who actually lives in Korea. He's gone over a lot of the sprites, including the weapons actually as well, all the weapons. So you're seeing his handiwork there in making them really look really spectacular. But yeah, essentially the sprites are just 2D cutouts, I suppose, with 5 frames of rotation at like the 8 degrees of rotation. So 3 of those frames are mirrored for the other 3.
Yeah, front 3/4 and profile, I guess, if you want to be
Essentially,
technical.
yeah. That's how you probably say it.
Oh, gotten chomped.
Yeah.
So we do have another question from Terminus. I was just going to stop that up every time, I think.
Just say Terminus, I think.
Terminus.
Say term.
Yeah, term 13. What spawned the idea of having a shot bow instead of a shotgun?
I think that was on you, Jimmy. I think
Yeah.
that was your idea, and then I helped you like make it look good.
Basically, yeah. I thought I definitely wanted a shotgun weapon of some kind in the game.
And
because-
bows, famously non-violent weapons.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Who's ever been hurt by a compound bow?
It's
you know?
a deterrent.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everybody associates Doom with shotguns, I think, right? I mean, if you've played Doom, you used the shotgun, and it was probably your favorite weapon for a good while, at least. So, I mean, shotguns are just great weapons to use in general, I think. In video games, I should stress.
But we wanted to be hipsters, so we wanted to change it up a bit.
I guess. Well, I mean,
I jest.
This game is just sort of silly at its core, and a bit fun and a bit kind of out there. Like everything's a little bit different to how you might expect it to be. I think.
I think we did want to go for a bit more mass appeal by making a less violent version of Doom. I say less.
One thing that I should stress actually is that the shotbow has been made an actual like paint weapon in the upcoming version. So you're seeing little sparks fly off when he fires it, but it is actually replaced by yellow paint now. So all of Square's arsenal in the next version of the game will be actually paint based, just for consistency's sake more than anything else. But also it kind of like has to lend, I think, to the child-friendly, in massive inverted commas, feel that the game tries to adopt.
Can I ask main man Mitch to plant a save point for me, please?
Absolutely, and it's probably time to chop up another piece of artwork.
Oh, nice.
If main menu Mitch is ready when he's done with that.
That's a name that's going to stick.
Oh yeah, I'm already. It's done. It's Christmas presents.
It's a t-shirt.
Earlier, but didn't explain it. So this is just Square wondering how his graphics got made. So it's Jimmy made a lot of episode 1 graphics. And Square's graphics.
Ah, yeah.
Now, Slacks, if you can draw an artist impression of main menu Mitch as a square or any shape, pick a polygon, whatever you'd like, that would be lovely.
He's Shapeland's real savior.
You
I always thought of myself as a bit of a triangle.
Yeah, I'd say a triangle.
Yeah.
I think
an octagon maybe.
I think you'd be more of like a rectangle that kind of folds open like an actual restaurant menu, you know?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
I need a new
Mitch.
Twitter avatar.
Exactly, yeah.
Mitch is a real square. No, he's all right. I won't have a bad word against him.
He's getting rectangled. Oh man, the puns are coming fast and strong.
I don't want to take sides in this
You
argument.
live by the pun, you die by the pun.
Exactly.
Things are getting very punny in here.
Cornered by the puns.
Oh, the punishment.
Oh, God. And that's it. Thanks for joining us. This was Pixel Sift. We're shutting it down. We're never going to play again.
All right, best weapon right here.
Here we go. It's 3 barrels of blue vengeance.
Basically, yeah.
And
you died before you could use
I got eaten. Yeah.
Could be your demon or your triangel.
Term is... You don't know Term, but he is notorious.
That is extremely good.
And
And I feel like you've got a
puns.
new audience now, so you could re-roll a bunch of these puns that were probably sitting in the back burner for a while.
I did start this level with 20 health.
Ooh, ouch.
All right,
Have you got the... Is there armor around the back there?
I'm going to start scavenging. There's.
Oh yeah, let's get that. That's really good armor, that.
Okay, I can't go straight to paint gun cannon. I'm going to have to scavenge first.
Yeah, I think it's safer to do that anyway, because you have all the anglefish in the canyon.
Anglefish.
Yep. They're the worst enemy in the game, incidentally, but we really wanted a really annoying fish enemy. I say we.
Generally extremely annoying.
I
in,
say
like, most
we
games.
wanted it. It was entirely my fault. I'm so sorry for the anglefish. It's all on me, that.
So what are these robos that we're blasting?
So these
right
are other variants of the O-Volt enemy. So they're the standard kind of projectile throwing enemy in the game. The red ones are a lot more powerful and dangerous, and they can also fly.
They're called air vaults.
The red ones are the revolts, and the blue ones are the air vaults. So they're just like the yellow ones, but they just have the ability to fly. So, yeah.
My keister is in the clear.
For now.
Yeah.
Grab the Borgers.
So, yeah, this is Jimmy's favorite game. Gun, even.
Yeah. It's rapid fire. It's it chews through your ammo, but it's really useful.
Is it a shared ammo source? With,
It does share an ammo source with the blue paint gun. So once you pick up the dual paint guns, those two weapons will share an ammo supply with the paint gun cannon.
Very grateful for this aim assist.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch.
No worries, man. I got you.
So the air vaults are actually quite dangerous if they come at you from above, because they have a very kind of they're able to change verticality very efficiently. So they will come and basically just sort of land on top of you and start meleeing you actually with their like static shock kind of attack.
I remember that show as a kid.
So is this the sort of game where you've got to manage your ammo, or are you trying to make it sort of like more fun so you can basically blast your way around and it's a matter of staying alive?
There is this fair bit amount of ammo balance. You do have to be a little bit smart with this game, especially later on in the levels where things do get very challenging.
This is medium, so the fights, are a bit less intense here, although I am playing fairly badly. Mitch, can I get a save point, please?
Absolutely.
Just hit F2 next time, by the way.
And with the save point comes another picture.
Oh, nice.
We're starting to back up now as well, which is great. Slacksaw killing it. We've got one up at the moment. It says, "Hey you, no smoking," with a very accusatory pointing square with a candy cane coming out of his mouth. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Slacksaw.
It's not a cigar. It's Pocky.
This one's actually a candy cane.
That he lit on fire.
Smoked poppy.
It's fire safety. Don't smoke fire, kids.
We should really kind of like create like an alternative kind of an episode where just everything is sweets.
So here's an interesting mechanic.
Oh yeah.
Oh no!
Quickly, use it. Drop it. Use it. You should have blown it up on him. You know. Go on.
I'm saving it. All right. Biff.
There you go.
That was
nothing more child-friendly than planting explosives.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well,
kids love that shit.
It's fine in Crash Bandicoot. Everyone loves that.
Horrible bite wounds are easily healed with cheeseburgers. It's true. I always remember, did you guys ever play Duke Nukem?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just the random chickens just hanging around.
Chickens?
Or maybe that's Commander Keen I'm thinking of.
There were chickens in Redneck Rampage, I think. Possibly. Heretic had some chickens.
There's definitely one of those. Definitely one of those games. Might have been Commander Keen.
Okay.
We have the the Mitch meme of the day, the menu Mitch meme coming from Slacksaw.
Can I have a save point
and
here?
It's actually fantastic.
I'm not feeling lucky.
It's square. There's the main menu. It's the screen, obviously.
Yeah.
It says Mick, Mitzi, Mitch.
Yeah.
And on the outside it says, "I'm a triangle on the inside." I swear. I think that's a T-shirt. That's merch right there.
Mitch, how does it feel to be immortalized because of our game?
It feels pretty good.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
And it feels even better to have a new Twitter
Avatar?
avatar now. I think I'm going to use that.
Good.
We've also got some educated information coming from the Twitch stream. Worldzar says you can turn enemies into chickens in Heretic.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
Here's our next big fight. It's on medium, so it's not that bad, but
Yeah, on
Johnny,
top, this is pretty tricky, this pose.
Let's see
Johnny,
if
can
I
I have
am
some
that
money
bad.
to pay Slacksaw for this art so we can put it
You've
on
got
the
your
show?
own job. You're a big boy now, and we're not going to support you anymore.
Slash is actually really good because he's actually part of our Discord and our team, as a matter of fact. So he helps out with just general concepts and art, and I think team morale in no small capacity as well. So Yeah, top man.
So let's do a bit of platforming here. If possible.
SR40 that.
Okay, do the fast strats.
Whoa, no, okay.
There's something about this turning, it's just slow.
You turn the sensitivity down.
Am I just crouching by mistake?
You've got sprint turned off.
It can be difficult to platform in the Doom engine. We have designed some of these levels with platforming in mind, but made them like not super punishing, essentially. So you can kind of just you can make them if you know your way around the physics of the engine.
But I mean, this is what I remember Doom was like anyway. There was all these ones where you had to make these ridiculous jumps all the time, and you know, it wasn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be like throwing your head against the wall until you eventually got it there. So,
I mean, in the original Doom, you couldn't jump. So the platforming there was kind of more like vertical platforming, I suppose. So just dropping down to the right spot. Here, of course, Ben's using a controller, so it's
I'm rubbish.
There's a little bit of added difficulty there.
We got the burger.
We got the sacred
Praise be to the
hidden
burger. Oh, okay. Let's just forget this ever happened.
let's not forget.
I said it. I'll say again. The lore runs deep.
Don't eat meat.
The cows are vengeful. All right, this is one of my favorite mechanics.
Right, so we've actually flooded the canyon now.
We flooded the canyon with that switch pull. So now essentially what we have is now just a way to get to the exit. And I like doing that in the original Doom as well. So what the ZDoom engine allows us to do is swimmable water, as you've seen, things like ladders and all that other kind of good stuff. But in the original Doom, you can also create stuff that's actually pretty technical. So flooding areas, as you see there, but without using any fancy effects, really. And again, it's pretty simple to do if you know what you're doing.
And this is where things get really difficult.
So how many levels are you planning for each sort of chapter, and how many in there at the moment?
There are 9 levels and a secret level in this episode. Episode 2 is going to have 10, plus 2 secret levels.
Oh.
Bit of a fall there. We don't know how many are going to be done in episode 3 just yet. But yeah, we're planning at least a full episode's worth of content when you compare it to the original Doom. So Doom had 8 levels per episode, plus a secret. So we're planning at least that. Actually, it's interesting that you mentioned Duke Nukem 3D as well, because we take a lot of cues from that game as well. Especially with the verticality, the height variation, and the kind of the realistic settings as well. Again, with like waterfalls and flooding areas. The original Duke Nukem had a lot of that stuff going on as well.
So here's just a swarm of enemies where the Uzi comes in quite useful. Yeah, in anything but like close range, this gun doesn't do very much. But with a swarm of enemies and aim assist, if you're using controller, it really comes into its own.
It's a bit of a circle strafe and you're all good.
Pretty much, yeah. Although I think they've done an excellent job, the mappers, of just packing this game full of challenge and exploration as well. So sort of taking the best aspects of both Doom and Duke Nukem 3D and just sort of continuing that spirit of creating, like a retros 90s shooter that, tries to kind of be above and beyond what everyone thinks the genre is, where it's kind of like run, shoot, occasionally jump. I mean, there wasn't jumping in Doom, but we've tried a modern take on something that, even modern gamers can hopefully get both of a laugh and a challenge out of.
All right, here are the defibs.
Yeah, it's all right. See,
You're not bringing them back to life.
It's all right. We can do that later. See, Square has first-rate first aid training.
All right, help that cow.
This is
Go
my
help
favorite
the cow.
weapon, by the way.
Help the cow?
Yeah. Okay.
Are we sure the defibs are going to help the cow?
Let's help it out. It's obviously.
This cow needs a swim. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. That's a line of dialogue in the game. If you shoot a friendly, like in the first level of the first
Mitch,
episode,
can I have a save point, please?
You'll encounter NPCs in a few of these levels.
Thanks,
actually.
mate.
So in the very first area, you'll see the friendly squares lying around.
Yeah.
If you accidentally kill one, or deliberately kill one, as a matter of fact, Square will say one of a few one-liners like, he'll be fine, or does someone know a doctor?
That's Mitch's favourite line as well.
Oh, okay.
One of his favourite lines. Says it all the time.
A lot of our testers just kind of, I don't know. They saw this was kind of Doom, right? They saw the Doom was kind of looked a bit like Doom, and it just kind of hit their berserk button right away, and they just flipped out and just shot the first thing they saw. Most of the time are the friendly squares in the village where you start out in the game. So that was just an interesting thing.
Well, generally, if
that happened
something moves, you're supposed to very happily paint it in friendly paint.
There's something about the spirit of Doom in this game that just makes people want to rip and tear.
Very true.
So with the ZDoom engine, is it something that you have to release it for free? Can you release something commercially with ZDoom? Or
I believe you can release it from something commercially now.
And is that the plan, or is this going to be always a free game that people can play?
I think this is always going to be free, to be honest. Just because I think that the team dynamic that we have is quite complicated. So some people came onto the team quite late into the project cycle, and some have been there since the beginning, like Matt. Our project manager guy. But yeah, I think you can actually release a commercial release with
I don't see copyright infringing at all.
It's just because the engine itself is GPL licensed.
Yeah.
So as long as you have your own art assets and music and sound effects and stuff, or if you're using royalty-free resources, for example, then I think it's legit.
Speaking of being legally bulletproof, those were the Cylonders back there, those enemies I just fought.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit cheeky, those enemies.
All right, so here we are introduced to the blue insta-death gunk, so could be in for some fun times here.
Yeah, I think the general consensus is that it's paint thinner.
Yeah.
Because everything in this world is composed of paint.
Yeah.
That's obviously death. Instantly,
yeah. So you're not killing anyone because like they're not actually alive. It's actually kind of like an odd man thing, where you can just
Who would create a world where paint thinner exists? Their entire existence is paint. Like this is built by someone. This was not.
You can't have life without death, my friends, and that is the philosophical depth that we explore in the Adventures of Square.
Deep
Hashtag deep.
All right, you got to read out the next pun that's popped up on the screen, Scott.
Oh, which one? The latest.
The latest one
From Terminus Est, Term 13, as we're going to call. Don't fall into the pit, or you'll be cyan in the end.
Bit of a stretch, Term. Not your best. You watch this. I've just challenged him now. He's just going to come back with something even better or worse, depending entirely on your outlook.
We've been called out, Term.
What does
we've got another one coming from
Backpack
Gianni.
do?
We've got another one from Combined Keegan. Hey Jimmy, the music's great. How about you talk about your music making mojo?
All right. Well, I'm indeed a musician. I compose a lot of stuff for this game. I've composed a lot of stuff for a lot of other Doom mods for the community specifically. So that's been probably the thing that I've done most prolifically for the community for the last 10 or so years. So the track you're listening to now is actually a track by Alfonso, who's actually no longer on the team, which is a little bit sad. But we parted on amicable terms. So there's a fair few other musicians on the team who are contributing to this. One such person is Zaza, who lives
Absolute
in Texas.
legend.
Lives in Texas. He is one of the best musicians who works in General MIDI, which is what you're listening to
He's
now.
kind of the best at everything, though.
He's a bit of a polymath, yeah. He's great at music, he's great at design, and
He's like from another
spriting.
dimension or something.
Yeah, a bit of a man of mystery, that guy. Yeah, so
Locked in a capsule since 1991 and refrozen to join the Doom.
The mystery of the Zaza person is forever a mystery.
yeah. So he's contributing some great music to episode 2. Who else is on the music team? Jazz is another person on the music team. She composed something very cool for one of the multiplayer levels in this game. We do have multiplayer in the game. It's hard to get working, but you technically can play multiplayer. The other thing that the multiplayer maps do actually is a special time attack mode where you can just fire at enemies and try to get the quickest possible time. Just a little fun thing that we have on the side. So Jazz has been helping out with the multiplayer music there.
Yeah.
So it's apart from that, it's just been me and Alfonso and Zaza, I think, who contributed to this one.
Yeah, shout out to Queen Jazz and just the awesome time we had with her at EGX.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Back in 2015, we got the chance to go to...
That's in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, the Electronic Gaming Expo, I think is
London,
London, yeah. So in the UK, and she accommodated us for the entire weekend, and it was fantastic. So yeah, massive props to her.
What was it like showing off your game at a big convention like that?
Oh, just absolutely amazing, basically. Like imagine the Perth Games Festival 3 days on the trot, and it's basically that kind of thing.
They stare at me, I don't like it.
So yeah, that was a really great opportunity. I think it was there was a fair few people there from the industry itself, so fairly big names popped up. I can't remember any offhand, unfortunately, because I'm so bad with names.
Can we have a save point here, please? We've
yeah.
got some platforming, insta-death, and a big fight coming right up.
Well, we've got a key right in front of us, so naturally baddies are going to pop out.
Oh, well, no, Jimmy, that never happens.
And save point time means it's fan art time. Well, not even fan art.
Oh, there we go. It's the Switch.
Proper licensed art.
Licensed to Pixel Sift in perpetuity forever for the purpose of making
Get out. I don't know if
Mitch
Slacks will be down with that. We've got another one coming up. It is, of course, the Square with this cheeky cigar coming out of his mouth. And his hands up like this. And he's like, that's right, kids, no smoking. More for me. Classic Square.
Square is smoking for all of our sins.
I do feel that's actually what his attitude would be. Yeah, Slacks has basically created the character, essentially.
He's got him down
we
pat,
made him like we made him B, as in we drew him and we made a square with a face. He's the one who gave him character, I think.
Exactly.
Slacks.
Yeah, definitely.
An attitude,
Slacks,
apparently.
absolute legend, man. Like I draw Square, how Slacks draws Square now. Like he's like basically the character art director. Like I look to him for like kind of art references and sort of what the character looks like now. So it's good. Might have to retreat and get a save point here if that's all right. Thanks, Mitch.
It's very useful,
I got you.
These guys look so friendly. Why are they mean? Why are they mean? I want to know.
They're just big and dumb, and they just shoot whatever they're told to shoot, basically. Yeah. So the circles in this world are not nice. They're this race of megalomaniacs, basically, who want to take over. Who want to take over and basically make everything round.
These guys are non-violent in the same way that Square is non-violent. You know, it's all just a game to these shapes. It's fine. It's It's
Use the grenades.
Yeah. Missed.
Use the grenades well.
I'm trying.
Stop exploding, you cowards.
I'm just gonna
Bottle it.
Gun it.
Yeah. They can burn you with their jets as well, so they can fart on you to death as well. So that's good.
So obviously this is a world of great, technological advancement. There's robots and flying, things like that.
Yep.
Is this some sort of post-apocalyptic hellscape that we've got to look forward to in the future? Genetic modification ever gets
Gone wrong.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hellscape, but certainly
Funscape, paintscape,
hexscape.
yeah. Hexscape, yeah.
Cow.
Double good.
Yeah. So essentially, what we have is a race of circles that want to basically enslave everybody else. And
As you do.
yeah, basically. And eventually they kind of like take their mission to the moon. So that's going to be the center of the second episode, which we've teased on. We've teased it on Twitter and Facebook with screenshots of the second episode, and that's going to take place on the moon in outer space, not unlike Duke Nukem 3D, which also had its first episode take place on Earth, on terra firma, basically. And its second episode took place in outer space, again on the moon. So yeah, we're taking cues from that game and Doom, and maybe some other games on the side of the era, just as inspiration and motivation, really. And eventually, yeah, the circles do kind of like make things a little bit difficult for our heroes. So they're the ones who are behind creating all of these robots, essentially.
This is absolutely shameful. I'm going to have to commit seppuku.
So when I spoke to you at Perth Games Fest, you said you've been working on it for, was it 4 years? Is that right?
I think that's about right. Yeah, I think that it did start out as a team project in about mid-2013. So yeah, it'll be about 4 and a bit years now.
So how long do you think you'll be until you're completely done?
God knows. We do enjoy working on it. It's been an absolute blast, honestly. So yeah, I mean, I think we keep coming up with kind of like little ideas to put in here and there. So I don't know when will we be done? I mean, we certainly got a lot planned for episode 3. Not super solidly, but certainly things we really want to do with the game, with that episode. We want to make it kind of weird and wacky and wonderful, more so than episode 2 even, which is obviously the next big release that we've got in the works at this stage.
And that's almost about to come out. I saw a blog post you were saying that it's relatively close.
Yeah, we did put out a blog post. We really wanted it done by now, but it's been...
The cows are the only constant in this.
Essentially.
Between our world and the shape world, there's got to be something there. Wake up, all right?
The only things that survive after the whatever happens to end up like this.
Shapeocalypse.
Yeah, oh, nice.
After the encircling.
Oh. The stream's gonna love this.
Game is hard.
Turns out.
We call it replay value.
You're getting your crossfire.
Yeah, there's actually like only 10 minutes more gameplay after this level. I'm just kidding.
So I guess if people are, you kind of got into this from loving the games and stuff like that. But if would you suggest getting into this sort of modding scene or finding a scene like this for other people who may be interested in making games?
Well, yeah, I would say if anyone wants to make a game and have it be even slightly Doom-inspired, definitely go with the ZDoom engine. The ZDoom engine has now actually ceased development. A few people have picked it up again, but the one that's kind of like most actively maintained now is ZDoom, which has the added benefit of an OpenGL hardware renderer and a few other extra features. So I believe we're playing it in the software-based renderer at the moment, which I think is Carmack's renderer from 1993.
Wow.
So, I mean, it still holds up today, I
Old
think.
but gold.
Yeah, I think it's had a few tweaks and changes. So things like slopes have been added to it. It relatively recently had 3D floors added as well, so floor over floor technology, which was previously only possible in the OpenGL renderer.
And for a closer reference, like the Quake engine. So I finally beat this level.
Yep. Yeah, so the hardware renderer is, I think, probably what we want to ship this game with. Just
The cow question is going to be the biggest spotter for theory material. Theorists are going to milk it for all it's worth.
that's our term. This track is one of mine, actually. I went for kind of atmospheric, sort of ethnic feel with this one. I'm not entirely sure why, but just
Shadow Warrior?
Yeah, the mountains and the cliff faces in this kind of reminded me of Shadow Warrior, in a way.
And that's a game that's basically parallel to Duke Nukem 3D, so
Yeah.
no reason to not include it as sort of our influences in constructing this game, especially with the layout of this particular level. There's definitely like at least a couple like kind of river or canyon-y maps in that game that sort of this level pays homage to.
Yeah, so the level is also designed by Pavera, my buddy in Connecticut. He's no longer part of the team, unfortunately, but he has a wife now and a kid on the way. So,
Hashtag life.
yeah, that's just what happens. Yeah. But he made some invaluable contributions to episode 1 of Square in the previous level that we just played and this one as well. And yeah, they're probably, I think, maybe the highlight for me, at least in the middle of the episode, for this. Because they're just really fun, well-designed levels, huge amounts of space to explore, but you don't really get lost in them very easily because they're very well signposted and stuff.
We do have another... Oh, I've lost it. There it is. Another question from the chat from World Czar. Does Square canonically take place on Earth based on our Doomsday chats before?
I wouldn't say it does. I think Shapeland is like its own fictional planet world in its own little universe.
Yeah, I think we were going for a cartoon parallel world, seeing as we just kind of digested nothing but cartoons when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we also have another bit of art coming through from Slacksaw. This time.
Have a Jimmy.
Yeah, have a Jimmy. It's a Jimmy-styled square.
Spitting image.
It is. It really is.
I feel like you should
Spitting
just
image.
It's
spin
amazing
that one around
work.
for us.
Yeah, no, hold up. You have to see this one. Bit of that.
That is... Why do I look so gaunt?
Because you have stick limbs, dude.
So it says,
No,
my hair
just the
grows every
face.
time I make a pun.
That could actually be true. But yeah.
Hair shortened
that's
due
not
to file
okay.
size.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks, Slack.
Oh, thank you, Slacks.
Art legend.
I like how the voice acting gets cut off sometimes. You're entering... Ooh!
Yeah. He says urine bits sometimes, but when you get cut off, he's just like, heh, urine. That was not intentional, but it just kind of happens.
Perfect
And,
for a
it's just a
children's
happy little accident. Don't pee yourself. That's not often a happy little accident. It's kind of a bit sad.
So these dudes that shoot out the cannonballs, they're
Yes.
shooting them out of their face.
Uh-huh.
What is the system of like perpetual energy that allows them to continuously generate these giant cannonball-y things?
I have 4 words for you there. It is a mystery.
Okay. A wizard did it.
They just sit around the construction site like eating sandwiches a lot. That's where they get. That's where all these burgers
Eating
are lying
bowling
around
balls.
for. It's yeah.
So the rest of the squares all seem to be relatively, benign and non-violent. What happened to this particular square? You got a
He's
gritty
just sort of-
backstory,
He had enough.
betrayals.
He's just sort of sick of it all. You hear at the beginning, he says, nobody puts Square in the corner. And that's essentially what his mission is. His mission is to show the circles who's boss. Because, I mean, they are out for, like, evil purposes, basically.
Square's kind of involvement in the plot begins and ends with he is very annoyed.
Always good motivation.
Basically the story behind Doom 2016.
Yeah.
That's what the Doom guy was all about. He was
Yeah.
just angry at there being demons around.
Yeah, angry, can't take it anymore, absolutely hates the circles and all of their nonsense. Just gonna put a stop to it. Just none of that nonsense around his neck of the woods. Not on his property.
Alright, you're gonna see a new enemy at this point, I think.
Yeah, Mitch, I'm going to need a save point, please, because I will always die in this area, you know, even when I use keyboard and mouse. Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah, check out this treacherous friggin' platforming.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I played your Global Game Jam game, and the platforming bit where you have to jump over and switch between the modes.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that. I really tried a lot.
I'm sorry.
And I was like,
yeah, we do have the unfortunate habit of kind of taking platforming in Doom and just kind of sticking with it by saying like, yeah, sorry, yeah, platforming in Doom sucks, but that's too bad. Which I mean, no ill will or anything, but we just kind of. It's definitely like not the best optimum engine to put platforming into, but we kind of.
But I guess
kind
that's stylistically
we go
what
for
you
it
were
anyway.
going for.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, we do have the ability to make platforming less of a nightmare, because I don't know if you know this, but in the original Doom, you have no air control, and that is the ability to move your player character while they're in midair. So. Doom Guy can't move back and forth and forward and backward at all while he's falling.
Yeah, think like the old Castlevania games where jumping was just a pain. Like this, but in 3D, and also the game is not necessarily made for jumping.
But what the ZDoom engine allows you to do is tweak that air control value to your heart's desire, basically. So you can make it 0, which is pretty much the default, or you can make it 1, which just allows exactly the same movement as you have on the ground in midair.
Right.
So we have it at
So you
about...
can jump and go left completely. If you want.
You can jump and steer, although the kind of like the strafing feels a bit slower, at least with this configuration here. But yeah, you can essentially change your trajectory onto any direction or kind of any. You have brakes and you basically have steering in midair, and you don't have any of that in Doom. So we've kind of optimized the jumping as best as we can, but you know you still can't see your feet. You can't look down past a certain way. But
Are you gonna get that smiley face?
Yeah, go on. Against the signs better. Against the signs wishes.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Confidence. I can hear the confidence in your voice.
That's one of my favorite
signs can't tell me what to do. I don't want to do the tri-tankle fight again, so I'll go for it. But only if Mitch gives me a save point. Thanks, Mitch. Shout out to Mitch. Also, I can't seem to strafe jump with this configuration, so. All right, I'll try that again, and this time I'll remember to press jump.
You have to get it now. I did the save point thing, so.
Yeah.
Oh, he got it, but it... Oh.
Okay, that's one iota of a smidgen of a skosh to the right.
It's hard, turns out.
This is like getting over.
We have been warned, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's a sign, not a card.
Oh.
It's like I'm cycling like methodically through all of the ways I could possibly screw it up.
Caution, just don't.
I'm working against the pillar as well because it bobs up and down. So that's another factor here.
This would be a lot more straightforward on keyboard and mouse.
Got it.
We did it! Yay!
Now to not die for the rest of the level.
Alright, you've got to go to the purple facility now, I think.
Yeah.
Which is that away. Again, with really good signposting there. So it's great to have mappers on board who know how to make a really good level and to make it flow and to make it the layout not confusing and straightforward, basically.
I think so, yeah. New players might still get stuck. I know I definitely have just absolutely abysmal navigational sense, but I think the best I can tell you is it's better the second time round. Yeah, I know, but I really do think the level designers did a fantastic job. That if you're not sure where to go, then, well, it's your own fault.
I guess one of the benefits of making a game like this now is that you've got, what, 20 odd, almost 30 years.
Oh no, my friends! Oh no! Mitch, look out! All right, Mitch, you made it out alive. I can save now. Yeah.
Do you want to save?
Oh no. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll do a save. It was a gag, but I'll take the save. Thanks, Mitch.
You're murdering your friends.
So what are you saying about 20, 30 years of...
Well, I guess, game design has changed a lot since this era of game.
True,
and,
yeah.
I remember for a lot of these things, you basically had to either have a guide or ask a friend for this era game. Is that sort of something that's, I guess you said you've got some good mappers on board, but what are some elements you think that you've brought along into this game that, just wouldn't have existed in the original days?
I suppose it would have to be layouts that are kind of like very compact and interconnected. So they have like a specific kind of shapeliness to them where all the corridors and the rooms are all shaped so that they all hug each other, basically.
Yeah.
And navigating from one room to another is actually pretty straightforward. And like having windows that lean from one room to another so that you can see the contents of another room.
Even if you can't get there.
Even if you can't get there, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of... actually, John Romero, obviously gaming icon, basically, founder of id Software, had this set of golden rules. I can't remember all of them offhand, but one of them was to always have an outside area that served sort of purely as decoration, except it should also have like a secret area kind of access. So he's obviously of the opinion that if you want to decorate your level, the decorations also have to have a purpose of sorts. That's another thing you couldn't do in original Doom, by the way, is plant an explosive on a floor and then have the floor give way beneath. That's a really cool thing that the ZDoom engine allows us to do.
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of little things like that. We're introducing new mechanics and sort of things like that, just playing around with the game balance and mechanics and stuff that helps to give the game its own identity.
Nice.
Yeah, these are defibs that...
This is where, it really comes into handy.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the equivalent of, Berserk power-up in the original Doom. With a bunch of fast melee guys, so, best time and place for it, really.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
How far back are you?
You have like...
It's alright. I have to save Mitch again.
You have...
If the save guy dies, I lose the ability to save.
Yeah, there we go. You got plenty of grenades here, so those are really good for crowd control and area of effect denial. Area of denial is the phrase, yeah.
Yeah. It leaves goo on the ground, which damages foes, but it's not as reliable as just kind of throwing it right at them, which kind of just does straight up massive damage. So I kind of use it as a sort of like as a quick nuke button, I suppose, rather than like a sort of trying to be any kind of tactical with it. If you've noticed, my playstyle is really anything but tactical.
So is this something you would both like to work on as your career, or is it just a fun hobby for you at the moment? What's the sort of plan for it?
Well, in my case, I'm kind of in that twilight zone between do I pursue a career as a musician or as a game developer? And I suppose I could do both.
Extremely lucrative, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, and both extremely saturated, intimidating markets to break into. But yeah, I can easily do both. But yeah, it's just a case of I need to just look around for whatever projects are out there that I can really just become a part of. Because I love composing and I love creating my own universes in a game environment like this one. The Adventures of Square, like, for example, has been one of my many attempts to kind of create my own universe, as it were, in the Doom engine. Again, like, I used my what little artistic skill I had to do that, and like anyone can probably tell just from looking at a few sprites of mine, not necessarily the ones all the ones you see here, because I think all the sprites that were, souped up by our other sprites like Captain J are all fantastic, but one might be able to tell that I'm not quite artistically inclined to really call myself an artist. But even so, I was able to put this together and have what's called a total conversion of the original game, basically. without much effort spent. So that was level 5. Yeah, that makes Square like a real labor of love for me personally, and I'm sure it does for Ben as well. Just because his character is up there blasting circles and having a fun old time.
One of the other guests that we've had on the show previously, Aaron, is from a Perth band, Furniture, and he actually went to the Global Game Jam last year and actually released an EP and then sort of had an accompanying game that he made for that as well. And the first time he was sort of similar sort of thing. He was like, I've always liked games, never had a chance to, do anything like that, but had that same sort of creative drive between the two, and was like, definitely want to give that a go. So, and he's created a secondary one now as well. So he's got 2 games that kind of come off the back of
I'm always
EP.
fascinated, and I think encouraged by that cross-media stuff. It kind of, kind of cements to me that it's cool to be more than one thing. And
definitely.
It's not always a case of you being kind of forced into one sort of area where you're supposed to specialize. And I think I like sort of any kind of creative pursuit, especially game dev, because I think it invites a lot of kind of needing to be good at different things.
Yeah.
Because there's some great solo ventures out there. Like the classic one is Undertale, I think. And it just goes
Stardew Valley as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah. There's so many. It just goes to show that video games are one of the kind of the ultimate kind of art forms in a way. And I don't mean that in a sort of smug, self-righteous way. I just mean they comprise so many different things. So
exactly.
That makes it all the more fascinating when you look at how somebody has been able to create a really diverse and powerful kind of piece of multimedia with all of their combined talents. Like something like this, the scope of Adventures of Square, the way that it's turned out, I would not be able to do this all on my own. So I have absolutely infinite thanks to extend to the whole team behind it. So all the mappers, all the spriters, all the musicians that have helped me with composing, all the quality testers and morale boosters that have joined our Discord and helped us continue to crawl towards the finish line, basically. Episode 2, that's got to be the absolute priority for all of us until it's done, basically.
How long have you been working on episode 2? Like, when did you start within that sort of 4 years?
Started in about beginning of 2015 because we finished episode 1 at the end of 2014.
You know when I said the short bow was my favorite weapon? I think I lied because I forgot about this. Say hello to its big sister. The quad cannon, baby!
This is the weapon that everyone just utterly loses themselves when they have the chance to use it. And use it on those guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The quad cannon from Never Enough Dakar Industries Incorporated. Let's just wait for the smoke to clear there.
So how many weapons have you put into the game?
How many weapons are there? Let's see. You got the 2 paint gun weapons, so the single and the double.
Yeah.
We have the Uzi, we have the shot bow and the quad cannon, we have the paint gun cannon. Oh no. I think there's 7 weapons in this version of the game. Episode 2 will have 2 more, I think.
And what about the dynamite? Says Combined Keegan.
Dynamite.
It's more like an environmental kind of hazard that you can use to your advantage, much like the barrels in Doom. Not like directly part of the player's arsenal, but definitely kind of an added mechanic in the game that you can use to your advantage.
There's also, I think you'll see later on in this level that the TNT crates, you'll see some green TNT crates as well, which...
Nitro from Crash Bandicoot.
Basically, but they are essentially grenade explosions, so they also cause area denial, but to you. So they are hazardous to the player.
It's best to try and avoid hitting them, or just running away.
We have another bit of art coming through from Slacks as well.
Hang on, go back and look at that chair.
Oh.
Well, it's...
What? But I've never seen
That's
another.
an interesting place to share.
Why is there a chair just there? Tell me. I need to know the secrets of this world.
I'll need to ask Alfonso about it because, well, I honestly haven't wondered about it myself, but maybe he has an answer. He's a storyteller, so he's a writer, so he's probably got a backstory behind that chair. It probably has
The chair is an eyesore. I don't know. I don't think it's an eyesore. It's just like
There's just a chair
just
over
a
there.
strangely placed chair.
It probably has like a name like Jeff or something.
Make sure you sit an appropriate distance away from your computer screens.
So, can you sit in the chair?
No, you can't. It's just a decoration.
Can you go through the chair?
Oh.
You're in the chair. You are the chair now.
10 out of 10.
The adventures of chair. So, thank you for coming.
Perfect game.
So the
Advanced chair AI.
the next bit of Slack's art coming up. It's the square. It's square, smashing a circle to bits. But it's very, very artistic.
What does that mean?
Is it perhaps graphic?
He's
in
taken a lot of
nature?
artistic license. The circle's getting defibbed and
Okay.
it's exploded
In a very
Basically.
non-violent way.
in a splat kind of way, apparently.
Right.
what
Okay.
it
He's
sounds
sleeping. Square had to wake him up.
Oh yeah, he's done that.
he's awake.
So much so he's dropped his knife and his eyes have flown out.
Perfectly
Square looks like a bit of a
kid-friendly.
maniac in this one, actually. Loving it.
That's not really what we wanted for the game. Now,
Yeah, we avoid making him too psychotic.
Yeah.
He's still got to be a bit of a lovable kind of fellow.
yeah, but when it comes to kind of just art that people draw,
Oh yeah, I welcome.
I think people have the creative license.
Yeah, I welcome any interpretation of our character because he's a bit of a blank slate. If you sort of take him at face value, you know he's a square with a cigar and arms and legs, and that is basically it. So the artist is then free to take whatever they want with that.
No
direction.
objection to your dark and edgy square fan theories. Go nuts.
It's all to do with the chair and the cows. I think that's what we've been determined tonight.
I think you just spawned a whole movement of chair theorists.
Yeah.
This game is actually an ARG.
It's actually a deeper game that
There's a sub game going on in the game, and the chair is tied into it somehow.
Playing
We
the
don't
game
know.
is the tutorial. We are really pushing the medium here.
So basically, what will happen at the end of this, all of our phones will ring, and then we'll have to go to a, payphone, and underneath the park bench there'll be
a box with a password in it.
Yeah.
And we have to find the most colourful,
then we'll have to-
rectangular-looking building in the area.
run. We'll take a picture of it and then run it through a signal analyzer or something like that, spectrum analyzer. I love ARGs.
Yeah.
I'm just definitely not clever enough to do them. Either design them or solve them.
Yeah, I think I'm the same, to be honest. I'd like to make
I just
an
like
RPG or something,
when
but
someone
yeah.
puts it on Reddit and they said, "Here's how it all worked." And you're like, "That's genius! I love that you've done all that work."
How does someone figure that out?
Exactly, I love that. I would love to be able to think like that. We're on the second part of the level now. So I've been at this for about 10 minutes now, like without saving. So Mitch, could you please do the honors?
So this map actually had two mappers. So the first, so the beginning part that we've just been through was designed by Alfonso, my friend in Melbourne. And the second half has been designed by Zazer, our friend in Texas. So, yeah, and I wonder how that came about. I think Alfonso was probably ready to leave the team at this point, and just wanted to hand over what he had and make sure it didn't go to waste. I think we all had to make sure that it didn't go to waste, essentially. But yeah, Zazer did a fantastic job with this particular part because, as you can see, it's multifaceted. There's a lot of kind of complex, convoluted architecture going on, which he does extremely well.
There was a bit of love coming through for Cesar, or there is now, but there also was before.
Oh yes, yeah. He's well known in the community. He's been in the community for about, I want to say, 15, 16 years at this point.
Combined Geegan says Zazer is a beast, and
Yeah.
Terminus 13 says Zazer is the Doom scene's Renaissance man.
He's like an ascended human being, if he is human.
I think we've just established that he's a government. Actually, he's a computers masquerading as a government.
He is the government. Yeah. He runs on senators to power him.
That's why they can never get anything done, because they're all busy trying to make Doom maps. Is that a robot fish?
It's the anglefish. Just
Yeah, because they're always underwater, I can never tell what color they actually are. Are they white?
they are brown.
Yeah.
That'll show through on the hardware render, which has the full color kind of capacity that the software renderer didn't have. This is again a really cool level. It's called the Spillway because we have a giant spillway essentially in this final area.
Makes sense.
One of many really cool set pieces that this episode has, especially towards the end. We have a lot of grandiose kind
That
of
seems
architecture.
extremely dangerous to me.
You can use the defib underwater, it's fine.
Don't question
That's
it.
something we didn't copy from Quake with the Thunderbolt.
It's just it's pure water. It's not heavy water in any way. It has no impurities. So of course electricity doesn't conduct as well through that. So yeah,
Of course, it could be very thin blue paint as well.
it could be.
Again, this is all for the ARG. Get searching, people. This is only the beginning. A new life awaits you. Okay, that sounded ominous. No, I'm gonna retract that.
Or has he retracted that?
How do I get on the other side of this thing?
Yeah, you have to, I think, find a cave opening, and
Oops. It's okay. I didn't need that.
there's a slimy area off to the side, I think. Do you have like the map bound?
I don't need it. I find when I'm looking at the auto map, I get more confused about the map layout. And also, I should have played this map long
you go.
enough to actually know how everything works. Like, okay.
I just love the laughs that the enemies make. The jetpack jerks, as they're called.
Oh, there are your nitros.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the gauntlet here. I'm just gonna sprint straight through it.
Oh,
Whoa, hello, friend. Steady on now.
All right.
Okay, you can
so-
stun lock those guys.
So just through here, there's a power up that's very useful.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
only appears in a couple of spots, but there you go.
Here it is. And this is what it does.
So that's our hot sauce power up.
Jalapeno to your face.
no one has ever been hurt by fire, so that's perfectly great.
So what you have there is the hot sauce power, which does instant death damage to anything that you can hit with it, basically. But it also makes you speed forward uncontrollably, if that wasn't clear. So Ben had no control of his forward movement at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just a short, like, little kind of
Ooh, we got this guy as well.
a short blitz of power there. Yeah. And that's just a kind of a double damage sphere, basically.
Yeah, it just gives you more attack power.
Yeah. Again, this is
A
a
little
pretty...
love for the hot sauce in the chat.
Oh, okay. Again, a pretty difficult area, this one, on hard difficulty. Because you have a lot of flying enemies in this area. Ben's playing on medium, if that wasn't made clear.
There's a car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's get a look at that guy in a sec.
Sorry, mate. You're getting blasted by those triangles.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, cactus.
Mitch has just got up. He's not going to save me now. It's all right.
Oh!
It's all right.
Did you save at all?
I wasn't hardcore enough. All right, I'm back here. It's all right. I only have to do
Okay.
half the level again.
Yeah, you're not too far back. Okay, so go through the purple
It's all right.
door.
I was
Yeah.
splashing around for like 10 minutes cluelessly, so I will be faster
It's
this
okay,
time.
yeah. Go to the slime area now and just power through that with your hot sauce.
Oh, my keister. Tell the anglefish not to get all of their square meals a day, okay?
I think the Tritankles are probably the most difficult enemy to face in the game because they're the only hit scan enemies, pretty much.
What does hit scan mean?
Hit scan is they
an attack.
they possess a bullet weapon basically that you can't dodge. So if it hits you, and you can't basically see it coming. So it's essentially like the bullet weapons in like for the original Doom, it had the zombie characters, it had the zombie men and the shotgun guys. So they were all hit scan enemies, and of course you have like any enemy with a powerful chain gun or something is also hit scan. Actually, there are some hit scan circle enemies as well that we won't see until level 9. You killed everything without the hot sauce.
It was just one tri-tanker left. Yeah, I just completely skipped that for some reason. That's a bit of a shame. Ah, yes, yeah. I may have missed an important step here.
You didn't get the ones underneath, did you?
Nope.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah, not a good idea to swim in the green. I'll be fine.
So that damages it as well, like...
Oh. If you're just tuning in, this is The Adventures of Square. It's done by Big Brik Games, which is an ever-evolving team, it sounds like, of many different skilled people. Ooh. All right, we might need to jump on that save a bit earlier. What do we reckon?
Probably.
Yeah, I will. I'll try to strategize a sort of a
So
a good
go for
save
the hot
spot.
sauce, hit the switch, and then
Chain gunners are also
save.
proficient snipers.
Oh, definitely. And that was definitely kind of that's a big deal in Doom. We wanted to tone that down in Square because if you have too many hit scans, then it's just like not really all that fun. But we wanted to place these guys, the tri-tankles, strategically, so that if you didn't have to, deal with what basically is a high HP blender, you don't have to do that too many times. A non-violent blender.
Look, blenders never hurt anyone, so yeah, fine there. Certainly there's some powerful enemies that are still projectile based, so obviously we have the circles who fire paintballs are kind of like our shotgunner tier enemies.
Yeah.
And then our fellows with the cannons.
Okay, Mitch, I need to save.
Our cannon jerks are kind of like the chain gunner equivalent almost, because they kind of keep firing at you constantly.
Look at his face.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Needs a glass of milk and we'll be all right.
Jalapeno-luya.
Man, why are you getting jalapeno face? That didn't work. So I should learn to
Noticing
speak
the hair
English
getting
before
longer.
making puns. Yeah, grab the fizzo pop there.
Yay, health. It's important for your health.
All right, you've got the...
Okay.
Should we save it?
Probably a good call, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, no. Sorry, I couldn't.
Kill this one dude.
Alright. Thanks, Mitch.
You're copping it from all sides.
Yeah. Pretty much. There's like very few areas where you're actually kind of safe for a while. If you're just not familiar with the terrain, then there's a high chance you'll just get ambushed. But if you actually know how to use a controller and can move, aim, and shoot and walk and do that stuff accordingly, then it shouldn't be too bad.
Oh god.
Do you think we'll get to the end of A9?
Yeah, if I don't spend like 18 years on the city map.
The city map is... You have to get 6 keys, but it's a fairly small map.
So how many times do you think you've played this now?
Too many.
I can't count.
Certainly have been playing it when I should have been play testing it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like It's just fun. It's just fun to play it and to play test it. So, which I think is a good sign. You know, you want to have fun while you're playing your game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the jibbing animation gets old either. Like that's the thing that everybody comments on, and the thing that everybody says, this is so satisfying. Thank you for putting this in.
Do you know what? Another really good example, a game that we played last week, was a game called Damsel, made by some developers based in Queensland, and it's kind of a score attack sort of game. What does that say?
Doesn't really say anything. I don't think.
It looks like the symbols from Star Wars. Yeah, and basically what they had was every time an enemy died, they exploded into numbers with a score, and those numbers kind of rolled around the screen and stuff. And that, again, that same sort of effect, very satisfying to watch them kind of like roll around. And
there's something just very primally, very stimulating about things exploding.
In video games.
Yes, yeah, obviously.
Don't do drugs, kids. LSD 272. Remember that. Keep that code, and we're gonna have to run that through an Enigma cipher.
Yes.
And then
Rot 13.
Right. So this is my favourite song in the game. It's not my favourite level in the game, but quite an impressive work of art here. Basically, just kind of a small city made into a level. Not an actual real location, but this is what do we call it, Jimmy? Geometropolis.
Yeah, Geometropolis.
There we go.
Geometropolis.
Yeah, and excellent, amazing music track by Zaza.
Grab that.
There's a trick jump you can do there off the lamppost, but this isn't GDQ, and I'm.
You don't have to be frame perfect.
I think I just trampled a triangle guy, but it wasn't Mitch, so it's fine. It would be nice to save this level.
I think canonically you're in the world now, Mitch. You're a character in this.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's Pixel Sift injecting themselves into
every game
since 2015.
If you feel like you want to put in our logo at any point, I can send that to you, PNG, whatever.
I might have to downscale it to kind of get it into the pixely art.
Yeah, I can give it to you.
I was going to say, it's too high res, Johnny.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That's good. That would be good, because we do like to have our Easter eggs in these games. We like to just fill them with little references and kind of jokes and references to things that we've kind of based the game around, and also like other things like, you'll see kind of like space themes, like pop culture references in episode 2 with the moon levels. And similarly here, there's kind of...
Cities would be perfect for a little bit of graffiti somewhere just sitting there.
Oh, there's some decorations around. Go in front of the poster. The little red poster.
Yeah.
Can't really show it with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of wasting this hot sauce here. Sorry, triangle. So now that I've aggroed every shape like within a square mile, let's check out this poster.
Keep calm and Polygon.
And that's not a reference to Polygon, the gaming journalist website. That's just a reference to these characters are polygons.
It's just, yeah.
It's an amazing pun.
Yeah.
Shape puns. Puns keep your game in tip-top shape. Was that done already?
No.
I feel like that...
Indiana cones.
I feel like chat did that already.
Yeah.
That was flagged for review.
Was it? Yeah,
because it's so bad of a pun. It is actually in the game, so if you...
Did anyone see that where they did a live cross on Australian television very recently, and
Yes, and he was just punching cones.
punched a few. Oh, that's why you do a pre-interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, do you know what really happened with that? To go a little bit off topic, it was people completely misunderstood that and thought there was more O's in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was pretty. It was a very sad place on social media on that day. I felt
Wow.
complete misunderstanding. I feel.
My fingers all switched places with one another at that time.
Right.
I had ideas of what I wanted them to do, but they did not do that. We're definitely at the tail end of the first episode now. There's only like, I think, this and a couple more levels to go. Definitely kind of some of the longest, more challenging part of the episode.
If you can get through the next levels in 10 minutes or so, I think you should be good. Maybe.
Well, you say that, but...
Although maybe we should save the latter 2 levels for the audience to play through and decide for themselves whether they think they do.
Well, that's it. I guess the game is available for free.
Oh,
for
absolutely,
people to play right now.
So yeah, you guys can totally download this for free at adventuresofsquare.com. We're working on Mac and Linux compatibility.
What about Nintendo Switch compatibility?
Oh, an interesting thought. I think there is a... is there a port for ZDoom on the Switch? I think there is. So maybe it's a possibility.
Oh, look.
I feel like the new Doom 2016 is on the Switch. I'm not sure about...
It is.
It is,
yeah.
I think someone is working on the ZDoom port for the Switch.
I don't know the process by which games get onto a console. I mean, can people just like mod it straight onto the console? I don't really know the proceedings.
No, I think you need to know someone to kind of get you in the door.
Yeah, you need to
definitely, I
have
think
like
so,
a developer type thing. Here at Murdoch University, we actually do have that.
Oh, excellent.
Is that true?
No, not for Switch, but we do have it for Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, wow. There you go.
That's neat.
So if you're interested in, shout out to our sponsor, Murdoch University.
Hang on, are they paying us for this one?
No, this is a freebie.
Thank you for the building.
And all the lights. Don't forget the lights.
All this good stuff here and the strange,
But if you are interested, definitely
strange anime picture
mention
on
that
the whiteboard.
we
over
sent
there.
you there. So
Seriously, do it. We need to justify our existence like every single day.
Welcome to the Adventures of Square, featuring my try-hard noises.
look at all those friends that need to be murdered.
Magus Marisa or Magus Marisa said someone just got Linux working on the Switch, so that's a start.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And Terminus 13 also said just port Adventures of Square to New Doom's snap map. No big deal.
No biggie at all.
Okay.
Totally doable. Do that in my sleep.
Go away.
Cactus.
He's using speedrunning strats here. He's bunny hopping, which actually boosts your movement a little bit.
Yeah. And actually, because it makes you go forward, I actually switched my left thumb to the right stick to look around. I'm really just kind of making this up as I go along. Making the best of my situation here is just being utterly terrible. Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Yeah. Hit scanners. This is the, and another one. Okay. Yeah.
He just accepted death.
Yeah. Hit scanners are a bit of a point of contention that we wanted to address with this
So-
game, but we still had them because reasons.
So if people are kind of, I guess obviously they can go down and download this game straight away, but there is a huge community that's around this the Doom modding scene. What are some of your other recommendations for people if they want to try and, one, I guess, get something that sort of feels close to the Doom that they know and love, and two, if they want to try and find something that's completely different and kind of takes the creativity of this engine to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, for sort of like an entry level to play, basically kind of get access to a game like Doom. I mean, there's also, you can just like get original Doom on Steam, probably for cheap. There's also free Doom.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't recommend Freedom just because it's incomplete, and I mean it's a resource that a lot of different artists and musicians and stuff have contributed to. So it's a bit of a hodgepodge. It's been in the work for about 15 years, I want to say.
Although it is like an open source alternative to the Doom engine, which should run with most mods and something. So if you're really just kind of curious but don't want to drop any money yet, then Free Doom kind of gives you an option.
I think in terms of user content, though, there's heaps of it. I could go on forever about that kind of stuff. But one thing that pops to mind is something that my friend Zazer was a part of, which is No End in Sight, is a 4-episode replacement for the Ultimate Doom, the original game that came out in 1993. Doom 2 obviously followed in 94. No End in Sight is beautifully put together. I think it's mostly vanilla compatible, so if you still have Doom.exe lying around, it should all be playable, except for maybe a couple of levels for which you'll need a limit removing port, which is essentially a source port that takes away the limits of what Doom could calculate. So the number of things on screen at once, the number of sectors that are conjoined and visible at one particular point. So that is a really cool map set that just recently came out. And I would also recommend anything by Skillsaw. Skillsaw is an American mapper who's been in the scene for quite a long time, and and he has a lot of great stuff to his name. So stuff like Lunatic and Vanguard are 2 map sets that he's released semi-recently, but his magnum opuses have to be Valiant, which is a 32 level full replacement for Doom 2 in just these big, gorgeous environments, and Ancient Aliens, which is, again, a 32 level set, but with this just brilliant aesthetic, just nothing I've ever seen in Doom before. Colors out the wazoo, all these beautiful, like, just giant floating flying saucers suspended above the maps. It's brilliant. So yeah, anything by him. And that's what I would recommend for anyone who wants to see what Doom is capable of, even if you're like sticking to the limitations somewhat of the original engine. Again, like there's all sorts of limit removing ports out there that allow you to do really cool stuff with just a very, very basic set of tools. And yeah, Ancient Aliens and Valiant would definitely be my picks for one, a couple of map sets that do that really well.
And they're free?
They're totally free, yeah. All the stuff in the Doom community basically is free. It's just an absolute madhouse of talent, basically.
Don't like where this is going.
Ooh.
I did not like where that went.
You can do this, Bimmy. We're rooting for you.
I will fight for my friends.
Keegan and Term are both behind you here.
Yes.
Slacks has gone quiet.
He's probably hard
Working
at work.
very hard, trying to make something amazing.
Well, actually, he does. We do have another one up here from Slacks.
Oh, okay.
This one, it's just a square of Ben, or as I've noticed on the stream, Bimmy. Yeah, Bimmy and Jimmy.
Yeah,
love that. It's you playing as Square, and well, that was fun. Now for the 10-minute speed run.
We've actually got a guy, Tansman, on our team. This American mapper who's contributed to a lot of stuff. He has been setting some insane fast times for this game for us. Because we have 2 par times basically. When the intermission screen comes up when you beat a level, it'll give you 2 times to beat. One is the par time, which is basically running through the level just as quickly as possible, getting all the essentials, killing whatever enemies are in your way, and just trying to beat it very quickly. Then you have the Big Brik time, which is just using all the speed tricks you can possibly muster, and the ZDoom engine does actually allow you to do a lot of clever stuff that the original didn't.
I've seen Tansman's par times. I have no idea. I can't even begin to fathom how he actually manages them.
How I don't know how he got them either. It's insane. Oh, there's Slacks right now.
Thinking.
There's your friends.
Hi, friends.
Hanging out in the fountain.
Yeah. Just the social gathering fountain, a shaped land, custom. Communal standing in water.
It's a favourite pastime of many people.
Yeah.
Hey, what's in this room? Is it death?
What do we reckon? Should we do a save?
I think that.
Yeah, after this bloke. All right. Thanks, Mitch.
Oh, your headphones.
Well, not the save button. Thanks, Mitch. At least we get time to listen to this amazing music.
There was actually a lot of love coming from the music very recently. I think it was a couple of minutes ago. And we do have the next Slacks or drawing up. If we there it goes. It's live, and it's just Square pondering. Just mod this game. He's thinking.
Oh, sorry, friends. Okay, no, it's all right. I just spooked him a little bit. Nothing fatal.
Just the old non-fatal shotgun blast.
It's all right. Just get one of those paint trowel things. Just kind of just thin it out.
Yeah, just smooth it over.
Yeah.
We have actually got the soundtrack for the Adventures of Square on YouTube for free again. For free streaming.
For recommended listening.
Yep. So it's a playlist on our Big Brik Games channel on YouTube, and you can just type Adventures of Square music and it'll pop up.
Oh, good. Very pleasing.
This game gets messy.
Yeah.
I dread the work of the janitor who has to come clean all this
It's too
stuff
late.
up.
The world's gone. Everyone's just going to get on their cow and ride off to the distance. So how many keys have we got so far?
That's 2 of 6. Well, we could be here for some considerable time. Okay. Oh, is that the sound of a machine gun? Oh, my favorite.
Extremely helpful. Windows 10 has decided to restart itself on our
yes.
chat PC, so we're going to have to get some relay from the team.
F to pay respects.
Pretty much.
Working on updates.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
8%. All right.
We're flying blind.
That's why you always make sure that everything is up to date before you start.
I can't see them, but I know my friends believe in me.
I know I keep harping on about using the grenades, but I think they are actually the weapon to use against the tri-tankles.
I know. I've really got to like move my thumb over, so I can't look and aim at the same time.
Right.
The old
Which is a
plastic
bit of a
fold.
problem, but you know, it's fine.
Do you lose the ability to look around when you start priming it? Then
I can switch to my other thumb to kind of
What
steer a little
What
bit.
have you bound it to?
Okay.
Have you put it to? We can do a rebind of the keys. Old main
me.
menu Mitch can help you with that one.
Yeah. if we rebound the controls in the console, I wouldn't need Mitch anymore.
I'll tell you what, having your friends and the tri-tankles exactly the same colour.
That is a bit. I have kind of like, frisked a few triangles by accident. Yeah. It's all right. They're all the best of friends.
They
It's
are
still water under the bridge.
they are purple purely for legacy reasons, I think. So I wonder if we can afford to recolor them. It's just like a 2-second job in our
Make them
editing
grey or black
utility.
or something.
Maybe, yeah. It's it's possible because we wanted purple to mean allies, basically. That's why you see all the purple squares in the village at the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
and all of your construction worker buddies here in this level and in the cave level as well.
Where do they all come from? Pop out of nowhere.
They can't come with me.
With the cave level, actually, what we missed in that was a very cool scripted sequence. It's not quite a sequence, but if you go to the purple facility in that cave level, area 5 of episode 1, you will see all of your construction worker buddies kind of manning the computers and stuff. So there's no enemies in the area. And they're just kind of chilling, just doing their job, that kind of thing.
You just walk in with a assortment of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, you can kill them if you want, but they're just like stationary kind of objects, basically. What happens later in the level is, I think after you hit a certain trigger, I think it's after getting the yellow key.
Should we get another save while we're at this point, do you think?
Perhaps-
Yeah, we're at probably a save point right now. It's only going to get worse from here on in.
Well, while we're there, Terminus has sent us time for a lore question, they say. He said it's not as much of a problem if your friends get splattered because they can just get a doctor. So how do you put a shape back together? And what keeps the circles from doing it?
Well, that's a good question.
Or they said, or maybe they do, and that's the explanation for nightmare respawning.
That's true as well.
loaded
even.
question.
Actually, do the enemies respawn on Cubula? I don't think they do.
I don't
actually.
think so.
Your mate.
Oh no,
Yeah.
other square.
Yeah, it's one of the things about Cubula that is actually perhaps a little bit lenient, because the rest of the difficulty that comprises that setting is just completely insane. Because all the enemies fire faster. You see unique enemies on that skill level. Oh, well done. You see unique enemies on that skill level as well that will just wreck your stuff if you are not like prepared for it.
Or if you're me, well, you just get your stuff wrecked regardless.
So are there any respawning enemies at the moment in this particular mode?
No.
No. He's playing on medium anyway, so I think you even have that in the game. So you'll occasionally trigger invasions of enemies.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won't continue to respawn.
Yeah, it's a serious Sam situation. There is a finite number of monsters in the level. There's just lots of them, where it almost seems infinite. Right, okay.
Are we 2 keys back?
Yeah, but I can just get them again fairly easily.
Yeah, that blue one's just around that corner there.
Okay, I want to go here first because that's where I get the Power's Aid. Helps me
the key's up here.
navigate this urban hexscape a little better. So what killed me there was, apart from my general ineptitude, is owing to the fact that with the gamepad I can't like hold down the grenade button and
Move.
steer the and look. Unless I miraculously had a third thumb, which I do not have. Oh, okay.
That hexagon is history.
He does not exist anymore.
Just in our hearts.
Yeah. his memory is still with us. Even though I can hear his voice. He's saying, "Why did you kill me, you complete idiot?"
Alright, maybe drop a save after picking this key up.
Okay, and kind of retreat to
Find a safe spot.
Alright. Thanks, Mitch.
Cool. Go.
Alright,
So 2 keys to go. Nice.
Good at video games, me. The absolute goodest. Yeah,
Got it.
that's how you grenade.
You on 1 health, grab that.
I guess I have to. Huh. Yeah.
What does that particular power up do?
That's an instant 100% health boost above 100%, so you can go up to 200 with that. So basically the Soul Sphere from Doom.
Yeah.
So we're at 5 keys now.
Yep. Okay. So, luckily, by process of elimination, I know kind of the one area I haven't been to yet. Although this completely open kind of map does tend to throw me a bit because I kind of get overwhelmed by sort of like all the different places that I could go, and sort of where I should go. But yeah,
if you go up that other elevator first,
okay,
then you hit the cyan switch.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just had a general idea. I'm just not sure which order.
Oh, right in the face.
Hello, friend. I got health. Good. So that's some Sir Kool-Aid, which gives you up to 99 health, in that it won't push Square's health above 100, but will push his health up to 100 if he's below that amount.
So yeah, Rake. This usually happens with Windows 10. This computer hadn't been updated in a while. So.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Luckily, it's not the stream PC because we've had that happen before as well.
Yeah.
The Stream PC is not made by the company that rhymes with Schmalianware, so it will be fine. Yeah.
It is that one.
Oh, it is that one. No,
What
sorry.
are you talking about?
The game PC is
The
not the
game
company
PC.
that rhymes with Schmalianware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Company that rhymes with Microsoft. Why?
One piece of cake just sitting on the floor,
Yep.
as you do.
They were originally they weren't on plates, but I added them because I had to make a sewer level, and then I had to put health items in the sewer level. So it just made the most sense to just, for sanitary purposes, to just have the bits of cake, on plates.
Yeah. I mean, a bit of a plated cake sewer, sewer cake is, much better than.
We updated
unplated sewer cake.
updated the game's art for to comply with health and safety regulations.
Yeah.
Don't want anyone to get. All right, so we've got all 6 keys now.
Yep. Okay. So I think
Should
the
we-
worst is over. There's probably like 3 tritangles in the last room for all I know. But I'm just gonna wing it. I think just gun
There
it.
might be just one guy down here.
Pun.
right, there's our switch. Yep, you're in the clear.
Yeah. Biff. Whew.
All right.
And there we go. So what level was that one that we just completed?
That was A7.
level 7, yeah.
E1 A7.
And how many in the full game?
Full game.
No, sorry, in the full
In
first episode.
In the first
chapter.
episode, there's
9
10.
in total.
There's 10, so
10,
9
yeah.
plus the secret level.
Well, I think we've seen a really good range of different levels over this stream so far. I'm extremely impressed with your skills. I was like, I'm going to jump in and give it a go. But look, seeing you play,
Johnny, don't bother, man.
I'm like, no, let's just let this happen. We
Not
want
this
this to be
far.
entertaining, not embarrassing.
That is surprising to hear you say, but thank you.
Yes. So the game we've been playing is called The Adventures of Square. It's made by Big Brik Games, and James and Ben are here. They're part of the team that work on this thing. It's built in the ZDoom engine. It's available, the first chapter, the first episode is available now for free, and you can pick it up. And I definitely recommend give it a go, especially if you have a nostalgia for that era of games, and you want to kind of come back and try something a bit new that isn't just downloading Ultimate Doom or whatever from Steam. And give it a go and see some creative stuff. And yeah, maybe if you're interested, dig into the world of the Doom modding scene as well while you're there. So thanks for joining us. We do this every week. On alternating
Something that looks a lot like this every week.
Something that looks a lot like this. On alternating weeks, we actually do sort of an audio podcast, and we record that within the studio as well. And we talk to game developers from all around the world.
Yep, the world. Claim it, Johnny.
We're all around the world. We ask them basically the same sort of questions that we've been asking you two tonight, and that is, why do you make the things you do, and what kind of inspires you to make it, and how do you keep going with it? So if you like it, we'd love to have you join us for future episodes, or you can listen to it in the car as well, if you like, if people have cars, or on the bus. But thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you all again soon, hopefully.
I would like to just show one last piece of art.
One last piece of art.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You've got to describe it for us. He's got to paint a mental picture.
Square firing his weapon in the air, and paint launcher in the air, and keep moving, Boomy. Yeah, do it, yeah. And he's firing. he's really excited.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Slacksaw, for all those. Those are great.
It was amazing. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So, you ain't no Indiana cones. I can see up there as well. So.
That is the worst pun in the entire game, as voted for by a team of specialists.
It's extremely good if you like punny games, then definitely jump into it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for joining me, both of you. Very appreciative of your time, and it was great to meet you. And maybe also give your Global Game Jam game a go as well.
Oh, yeah.
Nullvoid as well, which you can get for free on the Global Game Jam website. If you click on the Perth site there. And you can play a bunch of other cool games that came out of the Global Game Jam there.
Yep, we've also got that on itch.io as well. So
there you
just
go.
type Nullvoid, that's all one word, into itch.io, and it should pop up with any luck.
All right. Bye.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Thanks.